Section 2.5, number 55, the directions are use the given 0 to find all the zeros of the function. So the function we have is f of x equals x to the third minus x squared plus 4x minus 4, and the 0 that we're given is 2i. Now remember, one thing that we can assume if we have a complex 0 is that the conjugate of that is also a 0. So x equals negative 2i is also a 0. Now, to figure out how to deal with this, we're going to make these both into factors. So x equals 2i, the factor version would be x minus 2i. X equals negative 2i, the factor version is x plus 2i. And we're going to go through and multiply this out. So, going through, let me zoom in on this a little bit. X times x gives us x squared. X times 2i gives us 2ix. Negative 2i times x gives us negative 2ix. And negative 2i times positive 2i gives us negative 4i squared. Now from here, we're going to be able to cancel some stuff out. 2ix minus 2ix, those cancel out. So right now we have x squared. Now negative 4i squared, that's the same as negative 4 times negative 1. Remember, I squared, since I is the square root of negative 1, I squared, we'd end up squaring both sides, and we'd just be I squared equals negative 1. So anytime you see I squared, you can replace it with negative 1. So minus 4 times I squared is minus 4 times negative 1. Which really just gives us plus 4. So this is something we're going to be able to factor out of this polynomial here. Now, in order for us to factor it out, we're going to have to divide it out. So we're going to take that whole original function, x to the third minus x squared plus 4x minus 4, and we're going to divide out, our divisor is x squared plus 4. So with this, again, paying attention especially to the x squared, that plus 4 is going to affect things, but it's mostly going along for the ride. X squared goes into x how many times? Or in other words, what do I need to do to x squared to give us x to the third? We multiply it by x. So we're going to multiply this whole thing by x. And we end up with x squared times x is x to the third. 4 times x is 4x. You'll notice there's no middle term there. I kind of ignored the fact that there's a plus 0x there. So if you want to include a plus 0x and multiply that by x as well, it'd be plus 0x squared. So when we subtract these two, x to the third minus x to the third is 0. So we don't even need to bother writing that. Negative x squared minus 0x squared is negative x squared. 4x minus, I forgot an x there, I'm sorry. 4x minus 4x gives us 0x. And so I'm going to write that down. And we're going to now just bring down that negative 4. So now we go repeat ourselves. X squared times what gives us negative x squared? It's a negative 1. So we're going to multiply this whole thing by negative 1. So x squared times negative 1 is negative x squared. That 0x, the missing term, times negative 1 is, well, 0x still. And 4 times negative 1 gives us negative 4. When we subtract these two, you'll see it's a lot of repeats. Negative x squared minus negative x squared is 0. 0x minus 0x is still 0. Negative 4 minus negative 4 is also 0, which is good. That means we have no remainder. So now we have x squared plus 4. We just kind of factor that out, and we're left with now x minus 1. We already know what makes this equal to 0. That was x equals 2i, the one we were given, and x equals negative 2i, the one we kind of assumed. This last one, what makes that equal to 0? X equals positive 1. So we end up with 3 unique zeros. X equals 2i, x equals negative 2i, and x equals positive 1.